just taking your whatever you have said, I'm taking it forward, and especially for my viewers. You said that President Ruto went to UAE and things like that. I must give you the dates because I have the dates with me. President Ruto became, and you please correct me if I'm wrong, became president in September 2022, and his first visit to UAE was from 1st of December to 4th of December 2023. This is important to remember. And then from UAE, he came to India, 4th to 6th of December, first to UAE, then to India. And there is a connection, that is why I'm leading you to these dates. Then he again went to UAE in February 2024, 11th to 13th of February. And surprisingly, Prime Minister Modi of India visits UAE both times during this period. Prime Minister Modi visits UAE from 30th November to 2nd December 2023. That was the time when it was overlapping with President Ruto's visit to UAE. And the second time Prime Minister Modi visited UAE was again from 13th and 14th February 2024. Again overlapping there. I have a purpose because of this. I'm telling you this. Now the second part is, we are only talking of Adani and we are only talking of the Kenya. There is another player whose name we are not taking, and you must be aware of it. His name is Tahnoon bin Zayed, who is the deputy leader, who is the number 2 of UAE, of Abu Dhabi. He's basically, his elder brother is the president of UAE, and he is the king of Abu Dhabi. Now, he is also the chairman of International Holding Corporation, IHC. And this IHC is backing all the Adani deals in Kenya. So what my basic question is, all the 3 controversial deals, though we have 5, but the deals are 3. How you see that there is a nexus between UAE, Mr. Tahnoon, Mr. Adani, and Kenyan political leaders, a person like his economic advisor, I mean, we all know, Mr. David Nedi. And just for the sake of the viewers, Mr. David Nedi's wife, the pronunciation might be wrong, his wife, Mewanda Gatabaki. Now, she also has an interest in these UAE IHC. I mean, they are related. If the time permits, we can show the chart, but she's somehow related. So I just want that, are you aware that it is a larger conspiracy? Not only, I'm using a harsh word, conspiracy, because it is neither serving the purpose of Kenyan government, it is neither serving the purpose of Indian government, it is neither serving the purpose of UAE. It is serving the purpose of few individuals. So I just need your opinion on that.
Yeah, I think you put it very well. It's I try as much as possible to avoid to talk about this because I may not have documentation because but you're right. The visits by our president to the UAE have been very fishy. Actually, if you've been checking, you will see that the UAE actually gave him a private jet to go to the US. They gave him a private jet and he used it to do the US visit where Joe Biden had invited him. And when, there was a public uproar, this was in May before the protest, and he said that some friends of his had given him a private jet for free. And then before that, he went to Italy. He was given a private jet, and the private jet came all the way from India. The private jet took him from Nairobi and took him to Dubai. And then from Dubai, they went to Italy. Then from Italy, the private jet took him to France, to Paris. And from Paris, now he took the national carrier back to Kenya. So this event, they actually have, some kind of, they're all connected, these events. And what is happening is that the IHC is quite an important player in all this, because during the Hindenburg report, it's actually the IHC that pumped in some money into Adani to save it from collapsing. So they are the ones who actually bailed out Adani. And right now, they're the ones who are backing Adani to do all these projects in Africa. They have done a joint venture with Sirius International Holding, which is a subsidiary of IHC, of International Holding Company. And then that's where now Sirius International Holding is owning Apiero. So Apiero is the company that Mwende Gatabaki, the wife of the economic advisor, is a director. And it even goes deeper now in Kenya. So this Apiero company is now doing the public healthcare system, which is worth 104 billion Kenya shillings. And this system, so Apiero, this company, the other directors who are not spoken of, more, the other directors are part of the company that the guy that sued me in Kenya and in France. So his name is Jayesh Saini. He sued me in Kenya and he sued me in France. So this Jayesh Saini, the other directors are working for him. So one of the directors is called Nishant Mishra, an Indian national, who is his assistant, his personal assistant. And then there is one guy called Rufus Maina, who is also a director in Apiero. So Rufus Maina is legal. He is the chief legal officer for Jayesh Saini. So you see how all this thing is connected. And remember, I have spoken about how Jayesh Saini is linked to the SHIF, so the Social Health Insurance Fund system. He is also having a lot of insurance administration companies that are working with civil servants. So he has hospitals. So basically, he runs he runs the insurance. He's the one who is the administrator and decides which hospital gets paid. And then he has his own hospitals. And so there is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5 hospitals. He has level 2 and 3 and 4 as well. So most of the time there is a lot of complaints from patients that when they go to private clinics that are not his clinics, they are either told to move to his clinics, or that clinic is told to give 15 to 20% discount for them to be paid. So, and this guy is very close to the president. So, and he's also selling drugs, he's manufacturing pharmaceuticals, he's selling healthcare equipment in Kenya. You see how it's like a big web of interests in the country. And all this, remember, is being backed by IHC. So basically, what happens with the UAE, I will take you a bit off topic to, there was a scandal in the UAE. And the scandal was, again, by an Indian. So the Indian was called B.R. Shetty. So this gentleman had a healthcare company called NMC Healthcare. So NMC Healthcare was in UAE for a very long time, since I think the 80s. So he went to the UAE quite a long time ago, and his hospital just all of a sudden blew up and became so big in the UAE. Why? Because it was being backed by the royal family at that time as well. And so it was growing. If you check the documentary by Al Jazeera, you will see that even one of the royal family himself was the one who was signing off checks for him to receive loans. So at some point, there was a big scandal, and 4.5 billion shillings, $4.5 billion got lost. And some of that money, so this NMC Healthcare, at some point, they were also giving help to this Kenyan guy who is now doing the healthcare system in Kenya. You see how it's like a loop. So they were giving them money, they were helping them to expand in Kenya, and then one of his companies is also connected directly to NMC, but this NMC healthcare collapsed. So after this 4.5 billion, and when the NMC healthcare collapsed, they basically let go of this guy. So the guy had to run away to India, and they, went and started to invest, differently, not with him. Also in Malaysia, there was a scandal called the Malaysia 1MDB scandal. The royal family of Dubai as well was involved in this. It's well documented this time. So what I'm trying to say is that the UAE, they invest, they like to front people. So right now it's Adani who is the front and who is doing all the investments everywhere. It's in Bangladesh, in Israel, in Africa, whatever. So they are the front. But whenever it's becoming risky and controversial like this, they will just let him go and use another person. And at the moment, this is where Adani is heading. So
Great.
his shelf life is not that long.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Nelson, I just want to understand. This is the same Jayesh Sani who was the owner of Dinlas Pharma. Now, this Dinlas Pharma was the same company which got the license from the Kenyan government to import vaccine Sputnik 5 from Russia.
Correct.
And then later on, the Russians said we have not supplied it to this gentleman. And then his license was cancelled and there was a big... Now, someone who has done this with the Kenyan people in general, whatever deal is there, I'm not... you people also have a short memory, because this man has done something very mischievous as far as the COVID was concerned.
Yeah.
So I just want a very small reaction from that. This Jayesh Sani, he has all these people with him. Rufus Maina, Gata Baki, all these people are part of his web.
Yeah.
But the people in general don't, they forgive him about the mischief which he has done during the COVID.
No, they didn't. It's the same people who are still there with him right now. It's at that time. So he was accused of bringing in the Sputnik from, actually it came from the UAE, and then when it arrived in Kenya, that time the president was the deputy president, and actually the president at that time blocked it because it was being pushed by the deputy president. So, and if you look at what is happening now Jayesh Saini and the current president are now, they're running the show. At that time, they were not running the show, but they were doing it behind the scenes. But now they're running the show. So it's not that we have a short memory. It's only that those people who are doing it then are now running the show. So now they're doing it without any checks and balances, like that time.
Nelson, one more thing. We always talk of the JKIA airport deal. We talk of the social health authority. We talk of the power, Kenya electricity transmission. But there are two more areas where Adani showed a lot of interest, as you rightly said, ports and minerals. So, what is the status as on date? As far as the airport deal is concerned, gone. What about the rest four of them?
Well, I've been talking to some people in government, and so what is happening? I just spoke to one guy from the government, and he was telling me when they were in parliament, there was parliamentary how do you call them? Inquiry, yes, committee inquiries into these deals. So the power deal, the airport deal, all the deals that Adani was going into with Kenya. And the parliamentarians were telling them that we don't want to negotiate the terms of the deal. Our problem is the name Adani. We don't want to see that name Adani. We don't care whether the deal is good or not. That name Adani has to go. So that stand is very important, because if we start to talk about the deal itself, then we will separate Adani with the deal and say, okay, maybe he's doing a good deal in this mineral or in the power. No, but they made it very clear that it's the name Adani that we want to get rid of, not the deal. So don't come telling us we will negotiate a better deal. No, we want Adani to go. So this blanket condemnation of Adani will help in the long run, because nobody will try to say, oh, maybe we can use Adani to do our coal, for example, or the port of Mombasa. No, it's Adani is a persona non grata, is not wanted in the country. So yeah, for now, I think this is a good stand. Of course, the parliamentarians are they're working with the executive, but with the right public pressure, they will act right.
Okay, Mr. Nelson, my last question. Your Prime Minister, Mr. Raila Odinga, who was primarily a rival of President Ruto, somehow we have an impression that they work now hand in hand. So, is the binding factor is Adani? He's the man who is putting them together. What brings them together?
I don't think so. I just think that he was being used by the president to give credibility, like to give credibility to Adani, because he had met Adani in his previous role as prime minister. But I don't think he's directly involved in this deal, because he just joined government a few months ago. He was in the opposition, and he was against the government, basically. So I think he's just being used as a gun for hire.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. I must wish and I pray that people you have exposed are very ruthless, and especially that Mr. The UAE, he tells himself he's the national security advisor, very ruthless,
Yes.
and internationally very well connected. So please take care. We want people like you, and hope in future we will be talking to you, because we have similar problems here. When we talk to you, it looks like that there is apathy. It is not sympathy, it is apathy, because we share a lot of your thoughts and concerns. And you did a very brave thing for in a way to save your country. Thanks so much, Mr. Nelson. Ajay, if you have anything to say.
Yeah, Nelson, nothing much to add, but I'll just tell you the Adani, whenever he takes over an airport, and Anand will vouch for it, this is a standard practice where he increases the prices. And you are saying 50%. In India, it's 300%. The parking fees goes up from 50 rupees to 500 rupees. I think Anand can tell about Lucknow airport, which Adani took over in a similar way.
I'll just to add to it, there is a porter. If you go to airport, there is a porter for elderly people or people who need some help.
Yes.
In Lucknow, he used to charge rupees 100. That comes to around. It comes to around how many dollars? $125.
$1.25. $1.25.
$1.25. And now that porter charges 1,700 rupees for taking you up there. 1,700. Now this is something unimaginable. Now we used to go to the airport. The parking fees was, as Ajay said, it has gone not 300. It has gone maybe 500 times, and there is no one to check Mr. Adani, because, and it is now touted as Adani Airport. It is not a.
Yeah.
It is not a Lucknow Airport, or we had a very mass leader, Chaudhry Charan Singh. It was after his name, Charan Singh Airport. No, it is now Adani Airport. So we would request you that in future let's be in touch. Let's keep sharing our thoughts. And it was very good talking to you, Mr. Nelson. Best of luck.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So just to add on what you just said, so my sources were actually very worried that what we saw in the proposal was going to be even worse when they were going to sign the agreement, because this was only on their level. It had not gone up to the higher levels of maybe the desk of the presidential advisor, and all these people have to add their cuts in it. and then now when the project starts, you see completely different things happening. So this was one big worry, and I think you have confirmed the worry that it was going to be even worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Mr. Nelson.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Best of
Nelson. It was a pleasure having you on our show. Take care, that we are worried, and you take care of yourself. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank
Bye.
you